sixth man or woman of the year. Do you want to give your definition first, and then I'll give my definition?
Well, I'll give who I picked, and then I'll give my reasoning for it. So my sixth man slash woman of the year, I went with a woman. I went with Quinera Hayes because she was the odd woman out of the great 4x4 that we had for Team USA with a Thingmo, Sydney, Allison Felix, and Dalila. And it was all because of situational, because she was in the final, and then because like if she doesn't make the final, maybe she's
Yeah.
on the 4x4. It's a weird thing because then she's in the final and then she loses to Allison. So then Allison takes her spot. But was
Mhm.
Allison going to take her spot regardless because of her name and her veteran presence? Or would they kicked off a thing Mo because like, hey, you're the new one on the block. We can give it to Quinera Hayes. So I just think she was the greatest 400-meter runner this year to not be on their country's 4x4. Like, there's
Yeah.
not a single person has a sub 50 400-meter woman ever not been selected for their country's 4x4.
Yeah. A Diamond League
Assuming,
champion as
yeah,
well.
Diamond League champion. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to be on a 4x4. You won the Diamond League. You run 49 seconds. No, we got these other. I mean, it's because 3 of the 4 aren't 400-meter runners, which is
Mhm.
why that can happen. But yeah, Quinera Hayes, she's the Lou Williams. She's the Jordan Clarkson of the women's 4x4.
Give a little more respect. Manu Ginobili,
Okay,
all-time
Manu
great,
Ginobili.
sixth person.
Okay,
If you're
okay.
saying no woman's ever gone under 50 and missed out on the 4x4 team, you got to talk about the greatest six man of all time, and that's of course Manu Ginobili. Uh, so my definition was different. I looked at it more track wide. Who was a person who was underappreciated because they weren't the best in their event, but that's just because their event was crazy. So I'm thinking of people like Rai Benjamin. I'm thinking of people like Dalila Muhammad, right? I like your approach is smart. I almost think you made this the Quinera Hayes Award, though. Like you had her in mind. You're like, I want to give her an award because that was wrong. What happened to her? Let's do this because it was hard. Because the relay is
Yeah,
perfect. Because my pick is Shelly and Fraser Price, but then you're like, well, that's weird. Six men, like she's way better than that. But the way I think of it is she was overshadowed in that event, and she's obviously a historic great. The reason I give it to her over other people who were overshadowed was she's raced a bunch. She raced a
yeah,
whole lot more than those other athletes. She was always there, dependable, which is something you look for in this category, and someone who, hey, on a weaker team or a weaker year, could be starting, could be flourishing, and that was Fraser Price because she runs faster than she ever has in history, and she doesn't win, which is crazy. So I get the analogy is not perfect, but it was tough to match your choice. But track wide, I just think Fraser Price was underappreciated this year because of how good Elaine Thompson Herald was.
yeah. You could argue if Elaine Thompson Herald doesn't exist, like we just live in a simulation where you're able to snap your fingers and she just never was a thing ever. It would have been the year of Shelly Ann, right? And it would have been like an
Yeah,
all-time year of Shelly Ann. Like
yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, she would get the credit because she's the next one in line. No, she would get the credit because she's the next one in line of doing an all-time great thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree
This
with that.
was
I like your way of analyzing the 6 man woman of the year. That's a good way to do it.